Once you've added students into your class, you have the ability to invite guardians. They have limited participation in your class in that they only receive updates about what's going on in classroom. They don't actually get access to classroom itself. In order to add a guardian, you'll want to go to the People tab, and next to your students, you may see an email address already in Guardians, or you may see Invite Guardians. We'll talk about those with emails in a moment. So if you'd like to invite a guardian for a particular student, click the Invite Guardians button, type in the email address. Once you've typed in the email address, you'll click on it and choose Invite. You can invite multiple guardians for one student. Once you've invited a guardian, you will notice the invited key after their email address. This simply means they've been invited but have not yet accepted the invitation. If a parent contacts you and says, "I haven't received an invitation," but you know that the email address is typed correctly and it has invited next to it, you may want to ask that parent or guardian to check in their spam folder to make sure that the email wasn't lost. If you add a student to your classroom and the student already comes with guardian emails in the field, it's very important that you leave those alone. One of the things that we've noticed is as teachers are sharing students, only one teacher has to put in the guardian email addresses, and those email addresses follow that student no matter whose classroom he or she is in. So be careful about removing any of those emails unless they are just incorrect. You can always add more guardians by clicking on Invite Guardians, and you can remove guardians by clicking on the Remove Guardians button. Now that you've invited guardians to your classroom, you may want to know, what does that mean? So one of the things that I would like to direct you to, we've been in settings before, but if you go to classroom settings, this is where you can toggle on or off guardian summaries. You can still have email addresses next to your students, but turn off guardian summaries. Please do not remove email addresses that are associated to students, as other teachers in your district may be using guardian summaries and need those emails there. And if you remove the email for one student, you remove it for all teachers who are using that student. If you click under the link for See Example, you'll get information about what a guardian summary includes. It does include what work is missing, any upcoming work that has due dates, and class activity, announcements or assignments or questions that were recently posted by teachers. This is an important statement. Guardians who sign up for email summaries cannot see the stream, classwork, people, or grades pages in Classroom. They don't actually access Classroom. They simply get an email about any missing or upcoming work and class activity. Now, what I would like to show you is a sample. If you scroll down the page, you'll see an email example. It'll have the Google Classroom banner on the top, the name of the student for which the summary was created, and the days in which the summary covers. You'll see a section on missing work, anything coming due, and any class activity. Notice that this particular student has class activity for this teacher's U.S. History class, Mr. Gonzalez's American Literature class, and Miss Lynn's Biology class. What that means is any student who is in several different Google Classrooms where parent-guardian summaries are turned on, all of those will be collated into one email so that when that email goes to a parent, they get all the information about Google Classroom for that one particular student. At the bottom of the email, they'll have the ability to unsubscribe if they decide that they don't want to receive those emails any longer. I want to show you what it looks like for a parent who is receiving an email request to get guardian summaries. So for the student in this example, Sally Sunshine, I can tell that her parent is included and has accepted guardian summaries because invited is no longer showing up. What happened is this particular parent got an email that said, get Google Classroom email summaries for Sally. So once this email comes, you'll notice you don't have to have a Gmail or Google account to accept it. So if I click accept, then that's going to sign me up for parent guardian email summaries. When the parent clicks on accept, they will be taken to a page to show that the invitation is accepted. I do want to show you that although a parent does not have to have a Google account to receive Google Classroom summaries, in order to change how often and when they receive the summaries, they do need a Google account. So it does give them the option to create a Google account if they want to, or they can just receive the weekly summaries. So now let's return to our classroom and let's talk about communicating with guardians. Now that you have guardians in your account, it's easy to send an email to all guardians at once by clicking on Email All Guardians. Then any student who has a guardian associated with his or her account will receive that email. So when I click on Email All Guardians, I do want to show you an important feature. First of all, I don't have to go out to Gmail and type in everyone's email. I simply chose Email All Guardians and it puts their emails in this field. I want you to notice that it puts them in the BCC field. So parents will not see one another's email addresses. They will be blind carbon copied. Then anything you type for subject and for the content of your email, as soon as you hit send, it will go to all those parents and they are all blind carbon copied. If you want to email one particular guardian, you don't have to worry about putting a guardian into your contacts. You can simply come to a student and choose Email Guardians. The same thing will happen. It will open up a tab. The guardian will be placed in the to line. If there's more than one guardian associated to a student, all of the emails would be listed here, and then you can email that particular parent or guardian or those particular parent and guardians for one student. So simple, easy ways to communicate with guardians.